man is on a quest to play God, to control the weather and use it as a weapon. Lightning, torrential rains, hurricanes, targeted at the enemy.
The ultimate.
Found in tracking all the hurricanes that came thereafter, which included this quote-unquote Hurricane Irma, was that based on the wind speed instruments that our government uses to trace hurricanes, to actually validate that the wind speeds are hurricane strength, I was finding, you guys, that we weren't having hurricanes at all. The veracity of what I'm telling you by pointing out that Hurricane Lane, as of 8/23, is located at this particular, let me get you that point here. And you guys can go and do this yourself on Google Earth. Just go to 16.9 north and 157.4 west and plot that data point in, and there you have the eye of the hurricane, okay? Then scroll down and read what it says here, that the maximum sustained winds are near 130 miles an hour with higher gusts, so the maximum sustained winds are 130 miles an hour. And the hurricane force winds extend outward from the eye of the hurricane up to 35 miles from the center. Okay, good. Now, we have that information. We can plot that this hurricane is right here. Then we can go to the buoys that NOAA has in the water. And in this instance, we have a buoy right here. This is buoy number 51002, and it's located at latitude 17.04 and 157.7. Plot that into Google Earth, you guys, and you're going to see that this buoy is right in the sweet spot of this. Being beaten by winds up to 130 miles an hour. Okay, now let's just look and see what CNN is telling us. CNN is telling us that this is a category, I think they said it's a category 4 hurricane. Let's just double check here. I think it's in the title that it's a category 4 hurricane. Yeah, Hawaii is a dangerous category 4 storm is heading towards Hawaii. Well, let's take a look and see what a category 4 storm is. That would be, hold on a second here, category 4 storm is the second highest hurricane classification category on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. And storms that are of that intensity maintain maximum sustained winds of 130 to 156 miles per hour, or sustained winds of 113 to 136 knots. Okay, so let's just summarize here. CNN is telling us that that buoy that is within 35 to 40 miles of the eye of that hurricane should be experiencing winds between 113 to 136 knots. Let's just verify by this buoy to see what the actual recorded wind speeds are on this buoy 51002 over the last 3 sets of readings over the last 4 hours. 4 sets of readings over the last 4 hours. And here's what we're going to find, you guys. The wind speeds are 42.7 sustained knots. Not, you guys, it's not 113 knots. See, it says here it should be a sustained winds of 113 to 136 knots. No, that's not what this buoy is registering. This buoy is registering knots between 42.7 and like 38.9. Now I'm going to refresh this because I know that the wind speeds have been increasing. So I'm just going to refresh this one time to see. Okay, so the wind speeds now are up to 50.5 knots. Let's go.
August 25th, 2018. Guys, you're looking at a link on our website at bpearthwatch.com. It's called Mimic. It's on the far left. Scan down where the satellite links are, and you'll see Mimic. And it's morph microwave is what we're looking at. And in the video last night, guys, the last one about Hurricane Lane update, the meteorologists there were very concerned about when the storm was going to turn. Now, notice this is midnight Universal Time last night. and a microwave pulse completely wrapped the storm directly at midnight, the first of a few pulses. But as soon as it hit the storm, watch it as the storm's coming up through right here at midnight, bam, completely wraps around the taller clouds, decimates the taller clouds, weakens them to where they're stripped away by that wind shear. We're going to look at, this was last night at the same time. Notice I've got the error. I'm sorry about the timestamp being cut off there, but that's exactly on midnight at the 25th. You see 25, then 4 zeros. Now, that's the exact time that pulse wrapped around the storm, and you can see it start to dissipate. Now, one of the things about it, we'll look at some different information, is that when that pulse hit, the Big Island was almost in the clear. The storm was moving north and then was going to head west. But when it took the energy out of the rotation, the Big Island got soaked again, and it's still getting soaked. But now let's look at it from one of the images that I caught from another video. Right there at midnight, bam, that thing got hit. Now, you're not going to see it on any of the images, the pulse that is, except on that mimic. Now, this is just your infrared tropical radar. This is, again, look at your timestamp at the bottom. This is after the pulse. It completely wipes the storm out and pushes it back over the Big Island. So that's why you're getting the extra rain right when you were almost in the clear. Now, this radar does not go back to midnight, but look what is happening. The central part of the energy where the storm is supposed to be is regenerating. You see that red pulse right there? So now it's kind of like they could wipe out the upper level with that microwave pulse, but that low energy now that's at the surface level is regenerating very fast. Now you remember it was supposed to be a Cat 2 up into this point. Suddenly, tropical storm, 65-mile-an-hour winds, which is still a problem, guys. And one rain gauge had 38 inches on the Big Island, I think it was, guys. It's a tremendous amount of rain and flooding. Roads are impassable. Bridges are covered. They have landslides. They've got power outages, all kind of problems. So it's like when you mess with Mother Nature, it doesn't always work out exactly like you want it to. But, guys, they were very concerned that a Cat 2 hurricane was going to hit. And what you're looking at in the blue areas are tropical storm warnings, and the yellow is tropical storm watches, okay? That's going through. The watch will go through 8 p.m. tonight and probably into tomorrow, Sunday. But again, you notice at the bottom, wind 65 miles per hour, very slow movement, north-northwest at 3 miles an hour. That was expected in the turn, and I think that large red bubble we're seeing on the radar is the reemergence of, again, the low pressure at the surface. So, guys, if you don't think that weather can be manipulated, listen to one of the madmen that many of you know. He was one of our presidents, Mr. LBJ. Heads up, be safe.
It lays the predicate and the foundation for the development of a weather satellite that will permit man to determine the world's cloud layer and ultimately to control the weather. And he